Hello YouTube, I am your Huckleberry, and this is a Hinderer XM-18. And this model I got in the spear point swedge with a green scale there. This is the 3.5 inch model. Got the battle green anodized titanium. This is, as you can tell right there, a tri-way pivot, which makes this a Generation 6, and I love it. It is fantastic. I have owned quite a few Hinderers in the past, and while I never really experienced the detent problems that most people did, it was a soft detent, but mine always flipped fine. It always flipped okay. I did prefer, in the previous generations, I preferred non-flippers. Those that you just open with a thumb stud. I just thought that they were a cleaner look. I thought it worked better as a non-flipper. And so I've had quite a few non-flippers as well. But this one, the detent is fantastic. I mean, the Gen 6, this is the way a Hinderer always should be. Always should have been. I mean, they nailed it. The detent is great. You get the 3 different pivot options. I have the bearings in here right now, which is kind of my preferred way. The phosphor bronze it's okay too. It's fine. It's a good choice as well. The Teflon, I don't know why anybody would want to go back to Teflon, but maybe somebody has their reasons. It's not for me. But this, I mean, you could just hear it. Just listen to that. Oh, that's just such a satisfying sound. And closes shut on those bearings. Perfectly centered. I mean, this is just a heck of a knife. I've always been a Sebenza guy. I just love Sebenzas. I think there's beauty in simplicity, and I believe that is a beautiful, simple, timeless design that just works and will work from now until the end of time. But this gives the Sebenza a run for its money. I've never said that about a Hinderer before. I've always liked Hinderers. Like I said, I've owned multiple Hinderers, but this one can really stand next to the Sebenza in my eyes as an equal. And I have not and will not say that about many knives because I just love Sebenzas. But this is right up there. It's gorgeous. It looks great. The detent is perfect. Those bearings, I mean, every time. I can sit there and do that for hours, just listening to that sound. It's great. I love it. And this is just a fantastic overall knife. It does have what they call the working finish, which I like a lot. I work in a carpet store, a retail flooring store. And so sometimes, I have to cut carpet samples, and I'll just whip this out, and, it works great. And the working finish on it, because if you've never cut carpet before, the backing on the carpet will mess anything up. It will tear things up. It will tear up finishes. It will mess up a satin finish. It will, so a working finish is great for that. And, if I have to cut a lot of carpet, I will, of course, grab a carpet knife, right tool for the job, right? But, if I just need to cut a quick sample for a customer or something, I'll just pull out my pocket knife and take care of that. And this is a great finish for that because it already looks, you can kind of see in the light there. It looks like it's already been cutting through some carpet. And I actually I've cut one carpet sample with this so far. I haven't had this very long, this one. But it's just such a great knife. The ergos, I mean, of course, the XM-18 ergos have always been great. The ergonomics on this is fantastic. Good finger choil where you can choke up. As you can see there, M390 steel. Which is just one of the best steels going. That and 20 CV are 2 of the best steels for my money. And this here is it's great. It's a great steel. I love it. Seems to hold an edge very well. I'm not a sharpening guy. I'm not someone who sharpens my own knives. I actually will send them off to professional and let them do that. Mainly because I just don't have the time to learn how to sharpen properly. And that takes some time and skill. And it's a factor of I don't have the time, and 2, I don't want to make the time because I got other things going on. I want to make more videos for you guys, so I'll send it off to sharpen. But I know that it's easy to sharpen because I've heard people who do sharpen talk about it. It takes a good edge. It holds an edge. It's a great overall steel, and 20 CV is pretty much its equivalent, which a lot of Hinderers are in these days as well. And so this is just a fantastic overall knife. And the great thing about these knives is that they're very modular. And so what I'm going to do in this review, this is going to be kind of a review and hardware swap video all in one. And so you've kind of gotten the review there. You've probably seen many reviews about it already. It's great. It's fantastic. I will just add to the praise that it's getting. It's a great knife. And if you're into knives, you should own one. You should save up and get one if you can, if you want to. If you want to spend that kind of money, they are pricey. They're pricey. But I think finally they're worth it. Before, I would say that Hinderers were more just for the hardcore knife guys who wanted to have, because he did come up with what you see there, the lock bar stabilizer, which keeps that lock bar from overextending. And I think they were more just for the hardcore. But now I think this is a great knife for everybody if you want to spend the money on it, because they can be pricey, depending on the configuration. You're looking at between $400 and $500 for them. They're expensive. You can find them on the secondary for less. I got this one on Blade Forms for, I believe, $65? I believe I got it for $365, which is a good price. I can't remember. I just went blank. It's either $365 or $385. Either way, less than retail. Something that I was willing to spend. And it's just a great knife. And so now what I'm going to do is I got some brass hardware for it because I think the brass would just go great with that green. I think brass and that gold color look great. And so I'm just going to swap out the hardware while we're here. And this is going to be completely unedited, so it's probably going to be a long video. It's going to be very amateur because I am very amateur. I don't do a lot of edits with my videos. I don't do hardly any edits with my videos. Number one, again, I just don't want to take the time. Doing editing and adding in a bunch of stuff is very time consuming, and I don't want to do that. And secondly, I just think it feels more real. It feels like we're just having a conversation. You'll actually get to see what it's like to swap the hardware out on one of these guys, because it is easy. It's made to do that. It's a modular knife. It's made to swap hardware. It's made to swap scales. It's made to do, make it your own. That's kind of the thing with Hinderers. That was always what drew me to Hinderers. Even when they were less than this one, less than great. I say less than great. They've always been great, but just not quite as good as this. What always drew them to me is that you can do all kinds of scale and hardware swaps, and the steel flame, even though the steel flame stuff can get expensive, but you can make it your own, and that's what has always drawn me to Hinderers. And when they got this right, got the detent right, got the bearings, got, really just nailed it at this point. They've nailed it. Over years and years of refinement, I think they've got it refined to something that's really fantastic. I love the modularity of it, and that's what we're going to do today, is that we are going to swap out some hardware. And this may be a long video, and I'm probably going to mess up, and you're probably going to be yelling at your screen saying, "Why did you do that way, you idiot? This way's a lot easier." And you can tell me that down in the comments. Just let me know the way that you do it. And if you have easier ways of doing things, let me know that, please. I love to learn, and I want to learn, and I want to be more efficient at these things. And so, let me know in the comments if you have better ways of doing things, or if you think it's a better way. Let me know, because I want to do it. And so here we go. We're just going to start out. I always start out by taking off the pocket clip so that we can just get this nice and flat. And so now we've got that done. Let's go into, I need my T8 here, and let's just start doing this. I'm also looking for ways, if you have any suggestions, constructive criticism, anything like that, I welcome all of that. Give me all of that. You can let me know in the comments before. I'll be happy to read it. I'll be happy to respond. I'm very accessible. I put my email down in the description so that maybe if you don't want to leave a comment, but you want to leave me some constructive criticism or a link to something or anything like that, I would be happy to listen and read all that and respond to you. I'm happy to engage. I love to engage. That's why I'm doing this. I like to engage with other people who have the same passion as I do about knives, and I will also be getting into reviews of other things, just things that I like. This is not going to be an exclusively, and it's disassembling itself now. This is not going to be an exclusively knife-driven channel. It is going to be a large part of the content is going to be knives, because that is one of my passions, is knives, collecting knives, using knives, things like that. And so if you have any suggestions or constructive criticism or just want to chat, I'm all for just chatting. And if you're going to do this a lot, one thing you probably want to invest in, and I probably will in a little bit, as soon as I find one, probably on the secondary, something like that on Blade Forums or Facebook or something, is the little armorer's tool is what they call it. It's a little spanner tool that you can use that holds that still for you. So I'll probably be getting one of those before long. Of course, this is actually really easy. This is going really well. And so, but yeah, I'm all for engaging. I'm all for comments. I'm all for just chatting. We can just chat via email or Facebook Messenger or whatever, you know. I'm for all of that. And so here we go. Now we've got it. Now we've gotten it disassembled. And so you can see the parts. There's the liner. Here's the scale. Here is the blade. And we want to be careful there because that is a sharp blade. There's the blade. And you can see the bearings. The bearings in there. Those just, oh, they just make a world of difference, I'm telling you. They just make things great. Oh, and there it went. There went the pivot. And the bearing is still in there. All right, there's the stop pin. And we'll just leave that in there. Okay, so now we got this bad boy apart. We got all of the stainless steel parts out of there. And we are going to start installing the brass parts that I got. And so here we go. Like I said, this is going to be completely unedited. So you're going to get a real feel of what it's like, at least for an amateur such as myself, to do this, to get this done. And so here we go. We'll just start with the nuts there. Get that in there. And the reason you take off that pocket clip is so that you can get this. This will lay flat for you. Or you know what? You know what I want to do? Because I got a brass lock bar too. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to put that lock bar in there. So I need to get, oh, what size is that? I don't know what size, I think it's going to be smaller than this. Oh yeah, that's probably a 6. It's probably a T6 there. This is the first Hinderer that I've owned in quite some time. You know, just because, like I said, I mean, they were good. They were very good knives, even great knives, but I just kind of got bored with them, to be honest with you. I mean, we all go through that, right? Let me make sure this is working. I'm sorry, that's off camera, but let me make sure. Because I don't think, hold on, guys, I'm sorry. I got to get up close and personal here. I think that's smaller than that. That's smaller than that. Like I said, you're going to get this completely unedited, so when I look like an idiot, you're going to see me look like an idiot. So let me pull out. It would have been good if I had prepared maybe a little bit for this and known what sizes I need. I did a little bit, but I forgot about the lock bar stabilizer there. That is a T5, is what that is. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. We're not just spinning on the top there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now that is gone, and let's put the new one, you can see there, in. All right, let's do this, shall we? Get that down in there. Get that little nut down in there. And screw it in, and the first piece will be completed. All right, there we go. Oh, lost my nut there, or my bit. Okay, So that's done now. Let's switch back over to our T8, which is what most of these are. Now let's do these. Here we go. All right, and like I was saying before, the reason I take the pocket clip off first is so that you can get this nice and flat. You can lay it on there, and that'll stick through there a whole lot better. That's a real technical term there, but anyway. And it makes things a lot easier when you take that pocket clip off. I've heard a lot of people say that they use painter's tape, and they'll put these in here and then tape along the back side there. See, that just fell out there. Tape along here to hold those in while they get everything else done. And so that's something that I'm sure would work too. I have never tried that myself, but I might do that if I struggle here. Might get me some painter's tape and try that for next time. There we go. Okay, so now we got all that in. That's great. Let's get our back spacers. Or our standoffs. Those are not back spacers. Those are standoffs. Good Lord. Do you like knives or not? So there's that. We'll put our bearings back in there. Little caged bearings. That's great. Okay. So there's all of that. That's going well so far. How about that? Let's get our blade back on here. There we go. All right, now this is always the kind of the tricky part, is getting all this lined up. All right, so there we go. And you got to make sure that this stop pin is that, oh yeah, see? And therein lies the problem, right? I told you, this is going to be unedited. This is why the painter's tape would be a good idea, is that right there. And if I struggle too much with this, that might just be what I do. Just get me some tape to put on the back there to hold these bad boys in. Bad boys, another technical term for you. Okay, so we got that, and do that. Okay, so yeah, see, now we're starting from square one again because I was stupid and messed that up, but that's okay. I never claimed to be a genius, right? And I never will, because I am not. But that's okay. All right. Let's try it again, shall we? Maybe we'll get it right this time. We got to remember, you can't pick that up, Huck. You can't do that. All right, now let's see if we can get everything nice and lined up. Like I said, this is always the tricky part. And so if you get some silence from me, it's because I'm going to cut myself like an idiot. It is because I am concentrating. I can't do two things at once. I can't talk and concentrate at the same time because I just don't have that kind of capacity, that kind of brain power. But I am just kind of rambling on while I'm sitting here. Oh, there we go. Making some progress. Making some progress. Oh, I'm telling you, I need to masking the blade with painter's tape. Also, probably a wise decision. You know what? Forget trying to do that all at once, right? Let's do it like this. There we go. Perhaps we got that now. Perhaps we got that now. I'm just going to try to look around on the other side here and see. Let's try to flip this around so I can see if everything's in place. I'm sure this is just vastly interesting. Sitting here, listen to me ramble about this. But maybe you learn, I hope you learn something from it, right? Surely. You know what I forgot? That's why I'm not getting what I need there. Because I forgot to put that in. I told you. Live and well, not live, but unedited for sure. And you're going to get to see all the stupid mistakes that I make. And yep, we're just going to have to do it all over again. And maybe you won't make the same mistakes. This is going to be a 1 hour long video. The first of this kind. My videos are generally pretty concise. pretty to the point, and I don't try to take up just a whole lot of your time. Let's just go ahead. Okay. There we go. Now we might make some actual progress. I felt like I was missing something that whole time. I was like, something's not right here. I'm missing something. And I could not just put my finger on it, and yeah, you're missing part of your pivot there, hotshot. And so, so we got that done now. All right, now that pivot is in there. And you can put a little lube if you want to. I like KPL, knife pivot lube. The only thing about the lube is it is going to attract lint and just junk down in there. Like for me, it would be carpet fibers because like I said, I work in a flooring store and I cut carpet with this sometimes. And so for me, it would be carpet fibers that you would be attracting there. And so I'm actually just going to leave it and run it dry. For now, if I was using the phosphor bronze, I would go ahead and oil it up a little bit, lube it up some, because it's just going to make it run smoother. But with these bearings, I mean, it's running plenty smooth for me as it is. And so, I mean, I might in the future. I won't say that I'll never do that. But if you're going to be using the bearings, it might be an all right idea to just run them dry. They're going to be plenty fine. Plenty smooth, just running them dry. But if you just want that little bit of extra smoothness, go ahead and use a little knife pivot lube or whatever your preferred lube of choice is, nano oil or whatever, and lube it up a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with a little lube. But I'm running it dry for the time being because it's working just fine for me. All right, here we go. We might actually, this time, guys and gals, make some progress, because I don't think I'm forgetting any other parts at this point. You might be screaming at your screen right now. Yes, you are, moron. Oh crap! I'm telling you, this is a little bit of trial and error. The painter's tape is looking like a better and better idea to me. Holding those screws in, because then you would be able to kind of flip this up and over and sandwich it together a little bit better. So that might be a fine idea. Okay. Oh, except I'm missing 2 of my standoffs. So let's back this back out. Oh boy, that's in there good now. All right, let's try. Let's try doing this. All right, there we go. Guys, I'm telling you, this is trial and error. But I'm telling you, what I have learned through this right now is the painter's tape is a fantastic idea. And I think it'd be really good to do that. Because I can see, I've seen a couple times now where that would have been a good idea for me to have that. And we wouldn't be, 23 minutes into this video, and I'd probably be done by now if I had a little bit of painter's tape on there. But anyway, I don't know why I'm trying to do it that way. Let's do it this way. This way is easier. So I think. But, I mean, you're getting to see all my trial and error. And hopefully you won't make the same mistakes that I'm making, because you're like, hey, I saw that doofus on YouTube, Huckleberry, make all these mistakes, and I'm not making those mistakes because I'm not a doofus. And so I'm going to do it better than him. And that's kind of what I want to be. I want to be your doofus, so to speak, so that you can maybe learn a bunch of things and you don't make the same mistakes, and it's a lot easier for you when it comes time for you to take apart your XM-18 and, switch out some hardware or clean it up or whatever it is that you want to do. All right, now we're making some progress, buddy. I think we are anyway. Getting everything aligned, getting the stars aligned. All right. I haven't heard the kind of that snap that you want to hear, but I think we may be all right anyway. All right, here we go. We'll find out. We will find out together. Let's do this. I think it's going to look really good when we're done here, though. I'm telling you, that green and brass, gold color of the brass is going to pop. I just believe. I love green and gold, green and brass, you know, that gold color. I'm telling you, I don't think, this doesn't feel right. But we'll forge ahead anyway, right? And we'll find out if it's right or not here in just a minute. I'm just trying to, I really want to get these in because I do not want to put those standoffs. I don't want to go back to square one with those standoffs again. And so, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh no, you see that? I knew that wasn't seated well. Ah, but there we go, just a little click. And that worked. That stop pin was not seated on this side, but just a little pressure there, and we got it. All right, let's make sure we can't tighten these anymore now, because I think we brought that a little bit closer. One thing you don't want to do on a lot of my knives, on these handle screws and everything, and on the pivot, I will use blue Loctite to do that. But with XM-18s, they'll tell you, the ranch will tell you themselves, do not put Loctite on these screws because they're free spinning here. And if you do that, you are in for a world of hurt if you put that blue Loctite on these. So do not do that. I usually do that with all my knives, but I know not to do that with this one because it will lead to trouble. And the brass pivot is kind of the last piece here. Let me get my flathead. All right, we'll get that in there. I'll tell you what though, besides my my idiocy, that was pretty easy. And it's supposed to be easy, right? I mean, it's an XM-18, it's supposed to be modular. That's supposed to be easy, and it is. It is. If you don't forget parts like me, and you know, forget your pivot, and you don't lose your standoffs and everything. Holy moly! There we go. All right, yeah, we got some adjusting to do there. It's really easy. Adjust, adjust, adjust. There we go. That looks about centered to me. Let me know if that looks centered to you. Okay. They did say you can put a little blue Loctite on the pivot if you want, but I didn't, and I wouldn't if it's me. All right, yeah, I'm just checking to make sure that's centered. Does that look good and centered to you? It does to me. Let me look here. Kind of look at that. Okay. Flips great. And I think it looks good. I think the green and gold just looks really nice together, that green and brass. We'll get that pocket clip back on. And we're going to call it good here at almost 30 minutes. All right. There you go. Let's put this pocket clip back on. Let's maybe close that blade, shall we? Let's get this pocket clip back on, and we are done. All right, where's the little screw? Here we go. No, that's not one. That's for the, oh, here they are. Couldn't remember where I put them. And so there you go. You can see that that's pretty easy, right? I mean, this video is 30 minutes long, but of course I gave you a little bit of a review beforehand. I should have checked the time to see when it is that we got into that. But like I said, this is free roaming and unedited, and we just go for it here on the Huckleberry channel. And, but it didn't take that long, even with me screwing up here and there. And see, this is always the hardest part. There are these tiny, tiny little Phillips heads. There we go. Even with me screwing up like I did a couple of times, it was pretty quick. And so now that, you know, I know that you guys are all certainly better at this than I am. And so it won't take you near that long to do that. And there you go. See, it kind of gives you a whole new look and personality with those brass standoffs there. And the brass standoffs I bought from DTL Trading for $60. That's what the brass or copper ones cost. Copper would look good on here too. I might do that at a later date. Get some copper ones. But, you know, that just looks great to me. I think it looks great. All right, guys. So there you go. This has been a review and a hardware swap of the XM-18. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.